Hi! So, if you've been watching my channel for a bit, you might have seen the video I made called Strange World of DVD Packaging. And recently, I kind of did some reorganizing around my house to organize the DVDs I have. And I realized, I actually had a few more strange ones I felt like I could have put in that video. And after going through everything, I realized, I had enough just to make a part 2, so for fun, here's part 2 of my Strange World of DVD Packaging. And if you like the first one, I hope you love this one. Okay, so to start things off, let's begin with DVDs. Starting with A Disturbance in the Force. Yeah, I already showed this off in another video, but I wanted to bring this one up because the unique thing is, the way the disc holder is laid out, I don't know, I've never seen a pattern like this in a DVD, and yeah, that's what makes this DVD fascinating to me and why I felt it was worth showing off. Next one I'm going to show off is, here, the Spider-Man Deluxe Edition DVD, which, believe it or not, I think this was my very first DVD that was mine alone, because we had DVDs before, but this one I vaguely remember when I was super young getting this as a birthday present, so yeah, this was the very first DVD set that was, personally mine. Yeah, it's a little beat up in places. That's what I wanted to show off because on the inside, we got the regular DVD of the movie, Spider-Man. But with this, they include an entire bonus features disc all on its own. Which is funny because on the main DVD, here we have the movie and a bonus features disc. But here, they gave us another one and even gave it its own case and everything. I don't know. I thought this one was interesting to show off. Now here's the thing. In my last video, I showed that sometimes they do boxes like this, which hold multiple movies. But recently, I've seen different ways that movies altogether were packaged. For example, here's this Jackass 7 film collection I found at a Walmart for 15 bucks. Yeah, it's in one of these bigger cases, which I mostly see for TV show complete series sets. So seeing it for movies was kind of interesting to see. And I have another one which I find fascinating, which is this Harry Potter collection. And it's the same thing, however, it comes in this nice slipcover, which holds the thing. And I'm going to be real with you, I never got into Harry Potter. My mom loves this series, but no matter how hard I try to watch these films, I just can never get into them. The fact that almost every movie starts with Harry being abused by his uncle is just, I don't know, it always killed the mood for me, so for the parts I did I can see why people like this franchise, but for me, I just couldn't get into it. Now here's another one I have that's strange. Here's King Kong Deluxe Extended Edition. Now I choose this one because it's a big box as well, but here's the thing. This is just one movie, so yeah, here's the movie on 2 discs and a bonus features disc, as well as a little paper insert advertising more stuff about the film. But I don't know, I don't think a case this big was necessary for something like this. But this movie did come out in 2005, so I guess they were still trying to figure out how to advertise DVDs properly. Now this next one I find interesting. Here's the Godfather DVD collection I found at a used DVD store for 15 bucks. And so far looks pretty good, and it actually feels like a book, which is actually really cool. Here are the movies, and instead of regular DVD cases, they come in these paper ones, which kind of remind me of those Warner Brother DVDs I showed off last time. Yeah, I don't know which one of these are the movies. I haven't watched this yet, but since I hear so many good things about The Godfather, I am curious to watch this set. Oh, this one's bigger. Oh, it's Godfather Part 2. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why this one was 2 discs. Maybe this movie was longer than the others. Like I said, I haven't seen Godfather yet. But yeah, it is a nice looking set. And like I said, I got this for 15 bucks. And for movies people say are some of the best films ever made, yeah, I think I got this for a good deal. Now, in my last video, I showed you Sin cases. And I showed you, like, the Dragon Ball box set, which had, like, 3 movies. Well, here's this Shrek one I have, which has all 4 movies. And believe it or not, I think this came out around this time the 4th Shrek film came out. And ironically enough, I think this box set is still in circulation because I still see Blu-ray and even recently a 4K version of this box set in some stores recently. That's weird. They label all the movies on the bottom. That's... And let me adjust so you can see better. Yeah, that's kind of weird how they put that there. But yeah, all 4 of the original movies are on here. And speaking of Sin DVD cases, I was at a flea market and I found these Kung Fu movies in these Sin cases, and I'm going to be real with you, I think these might be fake. And funny enough, this one actually comes with 2 movies crammed on 1 disc, but yeah, I watched one of these. I think I watched the Chinese Connection, and yeah, I'm not going to lie, the quality on these are pretty bad. I don't know, I just thought these would be fun to show off. And another DVD set I have, which holds multiple movies, is kind of similar to the Jackass set, but here's Planet of the Apes, like the original movies, and it's in a regular Sin DVD case. And this here contains the first 5 Planet of the Apes movies. Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Escape, Conquest, which is actually my favorite of these movies, and Battle of the Planet of the Apes. Oh, also a bonus disc, Behind the Planet of the Apes. So they had 6 discs, so they could have fit 6 movies in this. And I have this other one, this Star Trek 3 film collection, which contains Star Trek 2, 3, and 4, which, okay, on first glance, that sounds really stupid, but when you actually watch the movies, you quickly realize that all 3 movies are interconnected in terms of the story, so, yeah. I think this 3 film collection makes perfect sense. Also, heads up, I'm not that big into Star Trek. I just got this because I heard these 3 films were pretty good, and yeah, these were actually pretty good films. And to go back to when I looked at Godfather, we saw that inside the box, the cases were kind of just paper, and I have some more. Like, here's this one I have from a show called Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go, and yeah, these were just free things that came with the toys, and each one came with a DVD of a random episode. I don't know, I thought these were neat, and that's kind of cool I still have these. And this other one I have, I got at a dollar store, Wolverine Origin. It's part of a series called Marvel Knights, where, from what I can tell after watching this, they just got the comics and then dubbed over them, which, I mean, is kind of neat, but I don't know, like, for most people, they just want movie adaptations and not comic dubs. And another one of these paper cases I have is actually this Pokemon movie. Pokemon Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. 2-disc collector's edition. Now, this one I find interesting because instead of just folding out and giving you the movie, we actually see it has 2 movies. The Mastermind of Mirage Pokemon, which is the 10th anniversary special for Pokemon, and outside this DVD, that special has never been released on anything else ever. Which is interesting because this movie right here was the very last time the original voice actors for Pokemon worked together before they were replaced, so yeah, this set's fascinating because it has the final time with the old cast and the very first time with the new cast for Pokemon. So yeah, this is an interesting DVD set I recommend for Pokemon fans. Mostly because I think the Lucario movie alone is actually really good. And another series with strange DVDs was actually the show 16. Yeah, my brother loves this show. And for some reason, Season 1 is only half of it, and this special yearbook edition is the second half of Season 1. It's kind of weird. But yeah, the cases were like this, and they're like, well, little books. Like, here's disc 1, and here's disc 2. And in the middle, like, okay, here's the episode guide. And it's like a little notebook. That's actually kind of cool. And for the second half of Season 1, it's so far the same thing, like disc 1 on this end, disc 2 on this end. And instead of like that notebook thing, it's kind of like a bunch of pictures of the show as if it were a yearbook. I don't know, it's kind of neat that they did this. But then with Season 2 onward, they just went back to standard DVD cases. And here's another show by the same studio, that being Teletoon. A show called Delilah and Juliet. I only maybe caught like one episode of the show on TV when I was a kid. My brother loves this show, apparently. And the box is pretty sick. And inside, there's only like 2 DVDs. Like, what? Like, this case is so big. Like, they did not need to do this. And another Teletoon show with a strange DVD release was actually a show I really love. That being Bakugan. Now, this was my very first Bakugan DVD, and it's actually a steelbook. Yeah, Volume 6 of the show. They just, for no reason, put this thing on a steelbook. And it only gets stranger because after they did, like, some volumes, they released these 2 DVD sets, which do contain all of Season 1. But here's the problem with these sets. Okay, they're big, and yeah, they're very fragile. Like, this piece here is loose, this part's broken, and let me see if I can... Yeah, and some of the other clips here are broken, so you may be wondering, where are the DVDs? Okay, I bought Collection 2 on Amazon, and it was thankfully sealed. But for Collection 1, I bought like 3 of them, or tried to. Like, I bought one, half the discs were damaged, tried to buy another one that was sealed. The guy who was selling it to me, he said that one of the discs was loose, and when he opened it to check, it was damaged. Then I bought this one, which was in okay condition, but one of the episodes didn't work. So, out of frustration, hang on. Yeah, I put the discs inside this little, like, jewel case because I did not feel safe leaving them in those box sets. And funny enough, later on when Bakugan would go to do Season 2, they would just release them in normal DVD cases. Hang on, let me just do some organizing to clean this up. And another show with big box DVD cases, which it didn't need to do, was actually a really popular TV sitcom called Alf. Yeah, here's the first season of the show, and okay, given how this is 4 discs and it covers both sides, I can see why they'd need a big box. And even with Bakugan, those were like 5 discs apiece. But for that other show, I feel like this was unnecessary. But for a TV full season, it makes sense. Now, speaking of TV shows, another show which had interesting DVDs was actually South Park. Like, here's Christmas Time in South Park, which contains, I believe, 7 Christmas episodes. And once again, it's in one of these paper sleeves. And, look here, they even have all the episodes on here. What's on the back of this? And just random images related to the show. And another weird South Park DVD we have was actually this one called A Little Bit of Butters. And it came in this big cardboard box, which looks like something the character Butters would have made. And when you open it up, hang on. Yeah, it comes with a whole bunch of stuff. Like, yeah, a whole bunch of stuff related to the character. And the DVDs are in this weird envelope, which, okay, I guess is kind of neat, but I can easily see the discs being scratched trying to take this out and put it back in. And still continuing with South Park, here's this one, The Cult of Cartman. Yeah, this one is kind of meant to look like a Bible, I think. And on the side, we see that image of Cartman from that Christian rock band he made in one episode. And unlike the other ones, there's actually a top and bottom for the discs. So, that's kind of neat. And speaking of top and bottom, here's another Pokemon movie. Let's see. Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea. Yeah, this is labeled as a Pokemon Ranger movie, and Yeah, outside of this original DVD release, I don't know if this movie was ever re-released physically. Like, I've caught it on a few streaming sites, but when it comes to home video, yeah, I don't think it was ever released outside of this. And when you open it up, let's see here, top and bottom. And for some reason, the Pikachu short is its own disc, which is weird because, like, on all the other movies, there was always a Pikachu short, and it was always a bonus feature. But here, they just made its own disc. I always found that odd. And here's another DVD, which I mentioned in my last one, but didn't show off. It was actually this He-Man and the Masters of the Universe DVD, this is for the 2002 show. And with the original 80s cartoon, I showed that they were in massive boxes, which held like 8 discs. This is in a smaller one, still big by DVD standards, but when you open it up, it's still these paper inserts, but it holds only 4 discs this time instead of like I said, a bunch of them. By the way, I actually recently rewatched this show, and it's actually really good. I highly recommend it if you're a He-Man fan. Come on, get back in there. There we go. Now, remember how I sometimes showed off like those like clear cases and they hold a bunch of DVDs? Well, I forgot to show off that sometimes those cases come in black. Now, in my Digimon video, I did show some of them off. And like this one here, it comes in a slip case, and like here, it's a black case and it holds a bunch of DVDs. And here's the thing, like this slipcover goes upwards. Well, I have this other one for Superman the Animated Series, the 90s one. Another good show. And this slipcover actually comes out sideways. Once again, a bunch of discs covering the show, and a little episode guide for like a thing, or a booklet. And this one here held 6 DVDs. And same thing with Digimon. Did another black case like this, which also held 6 DVDs. And here's the thing, another way TV shows were brought out was, of course, volumes, but here's one show I really like which came out in volumes, that being Sergeant Frog, which is actually one of the first anime I watched that wasn't Pokemon, and this show's hilarious, by the way. And the DVDs for this, like, it's 13 episodes, so you think it would be, oh, you open it up, but no. It's actually thin DVD cases inside a box. So, yeah, this was how this show was released, in thin cases. And here's the thing, there's another show I like that did this, well, I liked as a kid. That being SpongeBob, when they did Season 5, and these DVDs were kind of interesting because when you take the slipcover out, and this is like a paper thing, yeah, like they're all different faces for SpongeBob, and depending on how you put him in the case, that would mean the cover would be different. Which I think was kind of fascinating, and even Season 5 Volume 2 did the same thing. Yeah, these ones I thought were kind of neat for the fact they went out of their way to do that. Hang on, I'm just doing this to put the piece of paper back. Now, I have a lot of DVDs which like have big boxes or boxes with the thin cases, but for TV shows, I feel like the one show that went a little overboard was Pokemon. Like here's one for Pokemon Advance, and yeah, the volumes inside are full-size DVDs, which obviously means this box takes up a lot of room on the shelf. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy they put so many episodes in one set, but I don't know, this was a bit overkill. At least I thought it was, because later on, when they did the season Diamond and Pearl, they would do the same thing again. However, it's only 2 DVDs, which makes me question why these weren't thin cases. And because of that, this season required 3 giant box sets just for one season. And yeah, as you can see here, this would take up a lot of room on your shelf. And I believe Season 3 of Diamond and Pearl actually had 4 of these boxes instead of 3. Now, one show I think did a great job at this, I showed this off in my last video, but I'll show it again for reference, was Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, here's Season 1, and I never minded this because, like I showed before, there's interlocking spine images on both ends. inside these cases, like with Pokemon, it was only 1 disc per case, but with Yu-Gi-Oh, they fit 3 in here. So, yeah, this big box with all the different cases felt justified. Until the next Yu-Gi-Oh show, I only have its first season, that being Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. My brother loves this season. And it's the same deal, like, once again, when you put them all together, you get an interlocking spine, but as you can see here, it comes with 3 DVD cases instead of 2. And the annoying thing about this is, when you put it next to Season 1, you see, they both hold 6 discs. So, this one, for no reason, decided to add an extra DVD to put 2 of the discs in, which, yeah, that was unnecessary. However, the third Yu-Gi-Oh! Show, which is my personal favorite, was Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, which held 8 discs, and just like GX, they put 2 of the discs in 4 cases, but given how this season, well, or at least series only had 2 seasons, it did make putting the images together much easier. Like, here's this image, and here's the one with all the DVDs where we say UC riding his dual runner with Stardust Dragon in the back, so yeah, I don't know, like, for me, if it has interlocking artwork, then I'm willing to put up with the whole how much space this takes up on a shelf. And recently, I found a DVD which actually held 50 episodes and was more compact. Yeah, recently I found the first season of Beyblade Metal Fusion at a well-used DVD store. And look, it's a thin case, but it has 51 episodes. Yeah, they're able to cram all of it pretty consistently on here. Hang on, let me close this up. And there's even more ways TV shows were packaged. Once again, I showed this off in another video, but here's Beast Wars, the complete series. And by the way, I made a whole series of videos on this show. I recommend watching them. And this box set has all 3 seasons on 2 DVDs. And as well as having the show, it also has this little comic book which takes place before the events of the show, as well as this little paper insert about the show. And the show came on 2 DVDs, Season 1, Seasons 2, and 3. Yeah, Seasons 2 and 3 were half the length of 1, so they put them on 1 DVD, which is very convenient. So, yeah, I think this was a good way to release this show on DVD. There were other releases before this, but this was the one I got by the time me and my brother really got into Beast Wars. And there's even more ways TV shows were packaged on DVD. Like, for starters, here's this Mr. Bean DVD box set. It's pretty old, but you know what? I don't really mind this because it's the whole show, so it being in these big cases and full-size DVDs, I think made perfect sense. So, this one, I didn't really mind the big box because, like I said, it is the whole thing. Now, another one I have, which I find fascinating, it's not really a full show, but more like TV specials, that being for Garfield. It had this interesting box where it just had a bunch of the TV specials, or at least compilation DVDs of them. Except for the holiday one, which I feel like a lot of people would have loved to have in this box. Now, this one I'm going to show off. It's more recent, and I've been seeing it a lot at DVD stores, or at least in the DVD section, as complete series boxes for shows. Like, I showed this before, like, here's this 2003 Ninja Turtle DVD set, which I showed off before, and once again, a whole bunch of discs, and the whole tray just comes out if you just want to remove it. But here's the crazy thing. There's like 3 different versions of this exact box. Like, here's another one. Here's Reno 911, a show my mom likes. And this one's different because if you pay attention, like, you can see the bottom is a little indented. And on the side, it has like this little clip or whatever to hold it in place. And once again, the whole tray comes out. However, this time, each section of the tray only holds 1 DVD. So instead of like top and bottom, it's just 1 per like spine or whatever. Yeah, I know. I'm tired. And at the very back, for some reason, it has these cardboard inserts for, like, I don't know why. I think this show might have had specials, but they couldn't fit it in the box, so they gave you placeholders. Which, I'll admit, is kind of neat. And that's not all. There's actually a third version of this box, which I did show off once again in another video. That being, well, once again, here's the Ben 10 Complete Collection. This is still one of my highest grossing videos. And it has two of these boxes. I'm going to pull out one of them for reference. And this one's different because when you open it up, once again, it's like this weird tray on the inside, and it's extra deep so it holds more discs. So, yeah, as I've shown right now, there's so many different versions of this box. So yeah, like I said before, whenever I go to a store and there's a DVD section, I always see complete series sets for shows in these boxes. So yeah, this is kind of the new norm for releasing complete series sets for really long shows. So yeah, now that I'm done with DVDs, let's get to Blu-rays. So that kicks things off with Blu-ray. Here's my Assassination Classroom movie set. Yeah, I actually really like the live-action films for this show. And, once again, it comes in a slipcase, and this actually holds two movies. And thankfully, like a lot of anime I watch, like, here's movie 1, here's movie 2, and these are the Blu-rays. As well, it comes with DVD versions of the movies, which I really like because, like I said before in my Fairy Tail video, like, sometimes a disc can be faulty, and having a backup is really good. Especially given how this set's out of print and worth quite a lot of money secondhand nowadays. Now, another Blu-ray I have, which holds multiple movies, is this How to Train Your Dragon Ultimate Collection, which, at the time of me making this video, when the remake came out, Walmart has been selling these for super cheap. And unlike the last Blu-ray, which the thing comes out the top, this one comes out the side, and once again, it holds all the movies. As well as giving you, hang on, yeah, a bonus disc for a bunch of the Christmas specials, which, I'll admit, that was nice. Now, this Blu-ray I'm only going to talk about because of the slipcover. That being Ultimate Muscle, which, by the way, this show is hilarious. And for Discotheque, like, normally with, like, slipcovers, like, they're obviously cornered off, like, they're pointy. But with this one, they actually rounded them out, so when you put on the Blu-ray, it just kind of, like, fits perfectly. Now, once again, this is one I did show off, but I still find it weird. That being Hazbin Hotel Season 1. Now, the first problem I have, well, one of the problems I have, is that there's no Blu-ray logo on the top. Okay, this one's standard definition Blu-ray, but it tells you in the corner right there. Like, seriously, like, every Blu-ray I own, like, right here, it would say Blu-ray, but here, it's not on the cover, it's on the side, and on the back, which is really weird, and even weirder is the case itself, because, once again, where's the Blu-ray logo? Bring this back, like every other Blu-ray, like, it has the logo for Blu-ray on it, but this one doesn't. And on the inside, like, okay, it does top and bottom, but the problem is, it's really tight in there to the point where you have to take out one of the discs in order to get the other one out. Like, for DVD, it makes sense. Also, it has this little notch to fit the disc in, but like I said, if you want to take one disc out, you gotta take out the other, so like, I'm happy this show got released physically, but the case and way it came out was kind of odd. Now, another interesting one I have is this one. I don't really know what it is, but look, it's a box with two Blu-ray cases in it, which is actually something I don't see much, if at all. This is the only one I have that does this. Well, sort of. Like, I think these are nature documentaries, so I guess it's fine. However, okay, I lied. Like, this held two Blu-rays, but this one here, the complete Batman series, the 60s one starring Adam West. Yeah, this here, it came with 3 Blu-ray cases for all 3 seasons of the show, which, not gonna lie, I don't mind because, like I said, it's the whole thing, so I'm willing to put up with it. And it came with a little episode guide. I've only watched season 1 of this show, and frankly, Yeah, this show is great. If you're a Batman fan who likes good comedy, I recommend this show. It's fun. Now, another DC Blu-ray I have, which is actually my brother's, is this one for Suicide Squad. Yeah, this is very tall and long. And there's a reason for that, because one, slipcover. And I don't know why, it's a Blu-ray DVD combo, and the DVD for the movie comes in this piece of cardboard which just has the disc. As well as a digital code, which I do not want, so hang on. So if anyone wants a digital copy of the first Suicide Squad, assuming this still works, here you go. And another reason it's so long, it also doubles as a comic book. I don't know if this is a prequel to the movie, but that's pretty neat. And the discs themselves to the movie are at the very back. So yeah, this is very unique for a set that we have. Like, it's kind of like the Godzilla set I showed off last time. However, this is just one movie instead of 15. And that's all I got for Blu-rays that I forgot to show off last time. So let's move on to 4K now. So to kick things off for 4K, here's another set I showed off in another video, that being the Ninja Turtles trilogy, which, by the way, awesome box set. And here, this one has a slipcover, which leads to another box, which houses the movies. Which, like I said, like, it is all three of the original films, so I am willing to put up with the big box. And if you want to see more of this box, I did do another video showing off a bunch of my, well, DVDs and Blu-rays I got recently, and yeah, if you want to see my video on that, look it up. Now, here's the thing about my 4Ks, like the ones I have. Most of them are Steelbook. Like, here's the Steelbook I have of Transformers 1. And with the Dr. Stone one I showed last time, I hated this, like, this paper flap on the top. But thankfully, this one arcs over and stays on better. So, and thankfully, this one here, even though it's a metal case, hang on. Yeah, there's even more art on the back. And it's one of those Blu-ray 4K combo sets. And I think in North America, like, the only way to get the Blu-ray of this movie is to buy the 4K, which is annoying because this is such a beautifully animated movie. And it doesn't stop at movies. I actually got a show in 4K recently. That being the show Arcane. I haven't opened Season 2 yet, but I did open Season 1, and like I said, like, it's these paper flaps I don't like, but there is that little notch which does help it stay on. And when you open it up, here, it has several discs. 3 for the show and 1 for the bonus features, which is just a Blu-ray. And I think it will be the same for Season 2. By the way, the only reason I bought the 4K Steelbook is because it had the character Jinx on the cover, and she's my favorite character in this show. Now, the last thing I'm going to show off, I forgot to show this in my DVD haul video, that being the first season of Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest. So yeah, they did start putting 100 Year Quest on Blu-ray. And like I showed, it's a Steelbook. And the cardboard is interesting because instead of just the top, it also goes on the bottom. So yeah, it just slides in and holds together and aligns pretty good. And on the back, this cardboard sleeve has info on the show, but the problem is there is back art showing that they did make 2 different pieces of art. Hang on. Showing, yeah, they did make 2 pieces of art for both sides, but the problem with this, like, cover right here is, okay, yeah, it matches the first cover pretty good. However, when you try to reverse it and put the other cover, it doesn't match. I mean, yeah, the logo to the show is still there, but some of the art is cut off. And here are the discs for the show, and unlike Arcane, this has 4 discs instead of just 3. So yeah, like I just said before, most of the 4Ks I own are literally Steelbooks, which I don't mind. If I'm willing to spend the extra money for the better picture quality, then I'm willing to pay the extra for the case to be metal. By the way, this isn't a 4K, it's just another Steelbook, which I felt like throwing in the 4K because, I don't know, Steelbooks just feel special. So yeah, this was my second video looking at all the different ways DVDs have been packaged over the years. Now, like in the first video, I'm going to ask you guys in the comments, can you please tell me about other ones you've had that were packaged weird in a way that makes you feel like, this is kind of unique? Because in the first video, I did get a few responses and I loved hearing your feedback. So, once again, tell me, has there been any other strange ways that DVDs have been packaged that you found fascinating or felt like was worth showing off? Because I'd love to hear it. And I love showing off what I have. So, for that, I thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. See ya!